What's next for the cannabis industry right here in the United States? CEO at Clever Leaves, Kyle Detwiler, is with us. Kyle, thanks for being here with us. Of course, CLVR is the ticker symbol, folks. You can check it out. So some folks may not be as familiar with Clever Leaves. Some are. Tell me about what it is that's on your agenda here as you're growing the company in the next 12 months.
Yeah, well, Clever Leaves was started with a very simple idea, and that is that most cannabis production was first built in places like Canada or the United States, where maybe that's not where Mother Earth would have intended it. And so, rather than play the chess or the checkers game, our chess move was to go to places like Colombia and Portugal and build out one of the world's largest producers of medical and pharmaceutical grade cannabis on earth. Our operating costs are about 90% lower than that of our peers. And so as the industry evolves, as legalization begins to take hold, not just at home here in the United States, but also abroad, Clever Leaves is in a very advantageous position to attack the same market that some of the big Canadian names are going after, and hopefully do so with a nice competitive advantage via its cost structure.
Yeah, the cost structure and the competitive advantage you have by growing and having production abroad in areas like Colombia or Portugal, which may be more favorable, as you're saying, to growing cannabis. But as the legalization builds momentum, I saw some news about Israel right here at home in the United States. Why do you think Clever Leaves can really be a leader here?
Yeah, I think the Democratic election to the White House has obviously changed both the domestic picture as well as the international picture. And until the laws in the United States allow for Clever Leaves to import product, it'll be a little bit harder. Now, we've taken years to be able to make some milestone steps, like our first shipment of CBD into the United States, announced just a couple of weeks ago for commercial purposes. But internationally, I think Biden in the White House is going to accelerate that legalization initiative. It was just a couple days after he was announced the presumptive winner of the Electoral College that Israel began to set up a framework and announce plans to create a recreational market. And Israel alone could be a market the size of Colorado today. So, that's an amazing opportunity that probably most MSOs, aren't able to capitalize on because they're not able to send product outside of their borders. They can only focus on the U.S. opportunity. So until the laws change in the United States, we're really going to be driving that international push in places like Israel, Australia, Germany. Those are some of the hot spots.
Yeah, and you mentioned Biden, and look, if there's policy reform, your company, just like some of the others, but you certainly stand to benefit in a big way. We just had a recent, obviously a merger now underway with Tilray and Afria. What are some of your hopes here? Are you hoping or planning for legalization in how long? Which states? 6 months, 1 year? Are you looking to do some mergers and acquisitions? What are some things on the agenda near term and a little bit longer out?
Yeah, the Clever Leaves strategy is always plan for the worst and hope for the best. We believe we have a very successful business model just exporting to other countries outside the United States. But, of course, I can't kid anybody by saying that a legalization event in the United States could be a complete game changer to Clever Leaves. So, if the Biden administration pushes forward a system of cannabis legalization at the federal level, specifically potentially targeted towards medical products, that would be a home run for Clever Leaves, because that way it's a federally legal system. Imports ought to be able to occur just like they do for pharmaceuticals, just like they do for premium alcohol. That will be a great opportunity for us. In the meantime, though, we continue to invest and harvest our regulatory relationships internationally. For example, just over the past couple of days, we've started to hear chatter that Colombia is beginning to think about allowing the exportation of flower products. It's a bit early for us to determine whether or not that's going to occur, but today we're only restricted to exporting isolates or oils or other extract products. So if we were able to attack the flower market, that could also be a very big positive. So, these are the types of regulatory coin flips that we face every day. Each one of them could be, very, very valuable for Clever Leaves and its shareholders. And so we try to watch those developments as closely as we possibly can.
Tell me about profitability and where that really rolls in a big way. Obviously there's costs to grow, to refine this stuff, get it out, distribution. You mentioned getting CBD delivered, the first shipment of CBD into the United States just recently by your company. How big of a deal is that, and what kind of growth in number terms are you expecting, and how do you get to profitability?
Yeah, well, getting that CBD into the United States took a long time. Probably I would say 4 years of work, and when it finally showed up in our facilities, it was just a joyous event that so many people had put so much time into doing. But it's a first step. That's breaking open a brick in that Great Wall. It wasn't like we sent an ocean freighter full of product, but that type of scenario is going to be more likely now. So I think we're taking it easy. Bringing cannabinoid products from Colombia into the United States is very tricky. We are one of the leaders in doing that. So I'd say we haven't provided any specific guidance around the U.S. opportunity, other than to say that when we generally put together our financial forecasts, we assumed a whopping zero of imports to the United States. So it's all gravy to us. It's all upside based on kind of what we're thinking about. And coming back to your question about profitability, I think the most exciting part of this is, I spent my entire investing career at KKR and Blackstone looking for asymmetric opportunities. And when Clever Leaves can compete in the same market, it can do it at 90% lower costs. While we haven't reached cash flow positive yet, it only takes a fraction of the amount of revenue that some of our peers have been able to generate for us to swing from a cash consuming startup to a cash flow positive business spitting off dividends and other things in the future.
Yeah, and I know that you recently named your new CFO. Obviously, it's important to have your C-suite in place, right?
Yeah, we're very excited to have Hank. He joined us from Abacus, which was a leader in medical-focused or CBD products, and successfully sold that business to Charlotte's Web. So it was exciting to pick him up off the bench and be able to use his expertise to take us to the next level. I mean, we've only been publicly traded on the NASDAQ for about 2 months, so the story of Clever Leaves is very new. Most people are not yet familiar with sort of the business model, and so I think Hank is going to do a great job about advancing sort of the financial and investment acumen around the name.